This one actually came in early, but I saved it because I wanted to read out these Mo Salah stats. Total games 211, goals assist 178, 100 Premier League goals in 151 Premier League games from right wing. That's from Tony. Those are some stats.
Well, I've got to say something to you right now. I was watching that game last night with my right eye, and I found myself agreeing with Benty yesterday. I'm looking at Salah and I'm thinking he's on a different planet at this moment in time. It was magic. He really was. But Liverpool as a team were tremendous last night. They really were.
Gubba's messaged in and said, anyone going to address the elephant in the room? Pep loses another test. Pep failing the Champions League again. I mean, when you mean the elephant in the room, we have, discussed that Manchester City lost last night. But it is only a group stage game, Gubba, and they're probably going to go through.
Gubba.
So I would chill your boots a little bit.
Calm down, Gubba, lad.
81089 at TS Breakfast if you want to get in touch. Brilliant encounter last night at the Parc des Princes, and all the headlines are about a certain Argentine magician. He's up and running in Paris.
The greatest, I love you.
Messi runs into the Manchester City half and he's taking on Laporte, moving towards the edge of the box, gets it back, left footed, drives it into the corner of the net. What a goal! What a way to score your first PSG goal for Lionel Messi. A brilliant finish, a typical Messi goal.
We know that it's impossible to control Leo during 90 minutes, but I know quite well, so when he can run and he can be close to the box, always is unstoppable.
I think it was amazing his performance, and he scored an amazing goal. He's the best player in the world, that is no doubt.
I know what you just see.
Mark from Edinburgh has just told us that the Man City game versus PSG is El Clasico. Very good. Very good.
So we're talking about this game last night, then we're going to move on to Liverpool, because that goal from Lionel Messi, we've been waiting for a goal in a PSG shirt. Got it in style, Ali.
Brilliant. And they needed it. They needed the little gap between themselves and City. But they go, do you know something, would you, the best way to describe it? He's probably the only player in the park that can score that kind of goal. He really is. And you think of the talent that's on that park. He knocks it in, he keeps going. And the ball back to him is great, but it's not perfect to hit. Do you know what I mean? He's got to kind of move his feet a little bit, get out his feet. You know what I mean? And I'm thinking to myself, in doing that, I'm thinking he can only whip it the other side, and he doesn't. He gets his foot round it and puts it back, because it's not in the corner. It's not right in the corner, but he just completely wrong foots the goalkeeper. It's brilliant. It is absolutely magical goal.
Big discussion in the studio last night, though. It wasn't just about the goal. It was about the fact that during a free kick they got Lionel Messi to lay down behind the wall. Listen,
see, before we go any further, if there's any man entitled to have a couple of minutes lying down, it's Lionel Messi, right? So I don't mind. I don't mind. And if I'm Pochettino, you want to give MD a couple of minutes break, it's Messi. Lionel probably put his hand up and said, boss, can I have a wee lie down behind that wall and I'll get myself going again and get you a goal.
Just give me a couple of minutes.
Exactly.
Rio Ferdinand says, the moment Maurizio Pochettino asked him to do that at the training ground, someone else should have gone in there and said, no, this doesn't happen to Lionel Messi.
See, I disagree with Rio totally, because this isn't the first time we've seen it, right? We've seen it domestically, we've seen it in Europe, but we've never seen somebody look as comfortable lying down there as Lionel Messi.
He looked cool, didn't he?
He looked, aye.
There's no point in being in the wall, is there? Let's be honest.
Exactly. He's getting chipped with the greatest respect, unless he takes a hat box on when we're somewhere and stands in a hat box.
Or a pair of heels.
Or a pair of heels. Yes. To be fair, they'd need to be the heels that boy out of Kiss wears. You know what I mean?
Oh, my coffee just went up my nose.
I know, I saw that there. You know the guy out of Kiss, Gene Simmons?
Yeah.
They'd have to be...
Platforms.
Yeah, they'd have to be proper. And he's the only man, again, that could get away with that.
We're going to move on, because Liverpool were also in action. They were over on talkSPORT 2 last night. Give Ali a little bit of a break. Stick him in the wall, just on the floor. We're going to lie him down and give him a couple of minutes break. They smashed Porto 5-1 in Portugal. Classic front three of Salah, Mane, Firmino, they all scored. But after the game, Jurgen Klopp, he was full of praise for youngster Curtis Jones.
It was really a good game. Yeah, he played a really good game. He was everywhere, involved in everything. Set up the first goal with a surprising finish. Goalie cannot save it. Was in a lot of other situations really there, but most, and maybe not as spectacular as all the offensive stuff. He played defensively a top-class game. He defended really well, pressed from the blind side. A lot of things I liked a lot about his performance tonight. So, yeah, let's keep going, Curtis. It was not bad tonight.
Now, Curtis Jones was in the game at the weekend as well at Brentford and scored an absolute banger of a goal. It took a tiny bit of a deflection, but just like absolute rocket. And then got subbed off immediately because he was just about to get subbed off anyway. Yeah. And it was quite a funny moment, and he sort of laughed and saw the funny side of it, of course, contributing to a brilliant goal and then getting taken off immediately.
That'll teach him.
That'll teach him, yeah. He almost grows every time you watch him play.
I thought he was brilliant.
I remember seeing him play in the Carabao Cup last season or the season before. It might have been the season before, actually. And it was when Arsenal and Liverpool played, and it was something like, I think it was 5-5, went to penalties. I've seen him in a few Carabao Cups, actually, as he makes his way through. He's so impressive at every level, Ali. And now he's doing it not just in the Premier League, but in the Champions League as well. Like, some of his stats for his game last night were just insane. He's the real deal, isn't he?
Oh, I thought he's tremendous. It's difficult to pick a man in a match for Liverpool, but you can hear there Jurgen Klopp wasn't wanting to get too carried away, but you could tell by his tone he was really, really impressed, no doubt about it. He must have been ecstatic with that performance last night. And Jones, you know, I mean, I was going to say he didn't look out of place at all in that Liverpool midfield. You know, far from it. He was excellent and excelled in that Liverpool with Fabinho and Henderson. But they didn't have a failure all night, I didn't think, would you? I mean, they looked, I mean, it was such a threat. We're talking about Manchester City, right? The lack of a number 9. Now, they've still been doing well, City, of course they have. But the difference between the two sides, clearly in last night's evidence, would be what a threat Liverpool look. Whereas you think City are going to have to work for their goals. You know, Liverpool look as though they're going to get a goal scoring opportunity every time they run up the park. You know, whether it's, you know, Jota, Mane, with Firmino come on, Salah, they just looked absolutely terrific. And Jones was drifting out onto that left hand side where he looked a real threat. It was brilliant.
We haven't even mentioned the fact that Salah, Firmino, Mane, they all scored. Firmino coming off the bench, pushing his way back into that team where he sort of lost his starting place. But that's what you need really from that Liverpool side that are criticised for not having enough strength in depth and being a bit light in midfield as well. Now you've got Curtis Jones coming of age. It's looking a lot more positive for them, isn't it?
100%. I mean, the one thing we did speak about, obviously we mentioned Manchester City not having out and out number 9. They've got a brilliant bench, but so have Liverpool, you know, really getting the bench spot on now. Look at the boys that come on. The Ox come on, Origi come on, Firmino you mentioned made such an impact, Gomez come on, Minamino come on. So they've got a strength and depth now which Klopp clearly will be delighted with, because they're going to need to use it, you know, playing in all fronts. You know, the Wednesday Champions League, Tuesday Wednesday Champions League, and then obviously domestically at the weekend. It's going to be a long season, and teams like that who want to challenge you know, domestically for the league and indeed the Champions League absolutely must have a squad of about 18 to 20 players.
talkSPORT Breakfast with Laura Woods, Monday to Wednesday mornings 6 till 10 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.